Hey guys, I just wanted to go over a couple things for hip tissue mobility work around the hips. And oftentimes those muscles are super tight. You get the muscles here in the tensor fascia and the glute and getting up into the what we call the piriformis, but there's several hip rotators that go from your hip bone point here to your butt bone here, kind of back towards the sacrum. So all these muscles back in here really need to get some work done. The IT band runs down the side. It's usually the lateral quad muscle that needs it. Really, the IT band is just tensile tissue and it's strong as steel. You could hang yourself from the ceiling from it because it's so strong. You're not going to really affect that so much and create length there. So a lot of people think you're breaking down adhesions. It's just not happening. And so what you got to realize is just ways to improve how the tissue flows and slides and glides past each other, and get some sort of relaxation and lymphatic work done from there, especially from runners who work so hard, their butts get tight all day from sitting, and then they're running, they're working those muscles. You need to kind of get some soft tissue work to build into that to kind of help get the lymphatic flow to happen, and that's really what's happening. So I just want to go over a couple things. I'll go over the stuff with the foam roller first, and then we'll kind of go into more concentrated work with the tennis ball. So first of all, the foam roller, I really like to kind of get right back onto the hip area by sitting on it. So I just kind of sit right on it. And then what I'll do is just cross my leg over, and then same leg that's crossed over, that butt cheek's on the roller. So you're just kind of getting into there and going back and forth. So you kind of find some spots and just figure out where they are, and you can kind of roll them out a little bit, hold it there in a little spot. And also it's kind of nice to just add in a little contract relax. So I'm actually pushing down with my ankle muscles kind of pushing down as I do some of this. So what that's doing is activating some of the rotators that are opposing that. So that actually creates a relaxation of the muscles that are getting worked by the roller. And so just a little bit of back and forth can be really helpful. And that's one thing you can kind of work on. So it's really nice. You get up all the way up towards this part here. So the muscles attach way up towards that top of the hip bone. And so you want to get into there. So just do your best to kind of find it, roll it out. Go through it as much as you'd like to. A couple minutes wouldn't be bad. This is really nice to do while watching TV. Not really a problem to do, and just a matter of remembering to do it, and putting your foam roller in the living room and that kind of stuff is really nice. Some people have issues with their dogs attacking them while they're on it because they're on the floor, but hey, it works. But anyway, you kind of try each side, working those. I like this one the best. Just kind of one of my favorite ones to do. And then you also can get into the tensor fascia and into the IT band and lateral quad. So that looks like this. You kind of get down by the knee, cross over your leg just for control, and then go back and forth. Find those spots that work the most. I'm kind of working more in the back of my leg, kind of the lateral hamstring, kind of finding a couple tender spots, working them out. Try to deep breathe through some of that, and then kind of work it up back and forth. Go all the way origin to insertion, or insertion to origin, back and forth. You can add a little bit of movement through this if you like pumping your toes or something, but really it's nice just to relax your leg as you do that. So there's the lateral hamstrings, and you can get a little bit more on towards your belly as you get onto here, and just kind of getting all the way up. And I can find some spots here that are really nice. This is a pretty high density roller, and so this is going to be a little less forgiving. Some people want it to be a little bit softer, so it's a little easier on your body to begin. Some spots are super tender. Usually the more tender you are, the more you need to do it, but you don't need to torture yourself on it either, so just keep that in mind, okay? The other thing is the inside of the hamstrings and the adductors, these muscles here. This one you kind of have to get very familiar with your foam roller. You kind of get like into a frog-like position, like this, and then you're going back and forth. So just finding it, make sure you get all the way towards the knee, get all the way in through here, and then go all the way up towards the groin where it attaches near the pubic symphysis in the pelvis. So way up and through there, find some spots, really work it out, and that will really be helpful for you. So, keep working on that. Really nice. Oh, okay, found a couple spots there. So that's just a wonderful thing to work on. So those are the basics of for the hip, you get the muscles on the side. You want to do maybe a little lateral quad, medial quad, but you can also just kind of run through the whole quad itself. That's really helpful. So just kind of getting in there with the foam roller, really great. You want to get a little more concentrated, you can get on the tennis ball and then find some spots. So this is a little more detailed, a little more concentrated pressure on the spots, so you can kind of find your spots right back in here. You might have a spot here, and you can kind of work through there and find it. And I'm not putting a lot of direct pressure on it, so I'm unweighting my body with a little bit of my elbows. And then when I find it, I can kind of do, I don't know if you can see, but I can add in some nice hip rotation. So just kind of move my foot back and forth like a windshield wiper, back and forth, and just find that spot, just breathing through it. It just really gives it a nice release. It kind of feels really nice. Sometimes a little, it kind of wants to grab a little bit. You want to just get it to relax, tell it to relax. The power of your mind is great to tell your body what you need to do. So try to control your breathing, try to tell your body to relax. It's challenging at first, but it really can happen after you do it several times. And with everything, you need to do this on a regular basis to get some relief on it. The tennis ball can also be used kind of in the front of the hip. This is where the hip flexors go. The psoas muscle comes up through here. I really don't recommend somebody to push too hard. You probably see other folks really wanting to get a ball that like squish and smash your guts. Really not a good idea. You have an appendix here. You really don't want to be squishing that too hard. So you got to be very careful. So keep that in mind. But you want to get right up in here. Yeah, I'm just showing you here because you won't see it when I lay on my belly. But then I get onto here. Or maybe you go, well, I'm skinny enough. So you kind of find some spots kind of where there's a hip bone here. You go in a little bit. And then you might find a couple spots in there that are like, ooh, okay. So I can find some spots in there. And I'm just trying to release and kind of move across it a little bit. I can add a little bit of bending my knee and straighten my knee. Or I could actually do some contract relax where I push in with my knee and then relax, push in, relax. So that way you can kind of find it too. You can kind of figure out if the muscle contracts and it pushes against that ball, then you'll know that it's like there. So it's kind of one way to do it. But then you can kind of, I'm kind of upright right now just to explain things, but I would probably be down here and just relax. And maybe I'm just doing a few windshield wipers too, like this. I'm just trying to breathe and relax through the motion. So it really helps me just kind of chill out and get those muscles to feel a lot better. In general, when you're done with some stuff like this, and this can be done at any tender point, so, this goes the same with rolling. You can kind of roll certain spots and find that spot in the IT band, maybe where here you kind of hold it for a little while. So this kind of applies to just a little more concentrated pressure. But really at the end of all this stuff, if you do this for a good 10 minutes every day, you want to kind of assess how your body feels afterwards. Should feel a lot better. Should just feel nice and relaxed and feel good. So if it doesn't, it might mean you're kind of pushing too hard or you're just trying too much. And sometimes, especially runners, they like to kind of do too much. I think I see you there. People do this all the time. They try to do too much and they're trying to get faster results sooner. But you really have to listen to how your body is. Take your time through the movements. Really feel out your body, how it's feeling when you do it. And afterwards, noticing how the changes are. This is just a common thing that we just need to see. You need to test it first, feel how it is, and then retest it afterwards. That way you know it's a good thing for you. Oftentimes, there's many things that we do that aren't good for us, and we don't even know it. And we need to keep testing and retesting so you know what those things are. So I hope this has been helpful. Just gives you some ideas to kind of loosen up the areas in the hips and help you get some more length in your stride and help you to kind of feel better on your runs. Also will help with any sort of problems. My main thing with a lot of runners is the knee, and if the hips are moving better and they're looser, you get more movement out of the hips and less out of the knee. That way your knee doesn't have to go through as much grief either. So a whole bunch of benefits for better movement in the hips, and I hope this has been helpful. Give me any comments, and I'd just like to hear how it goes when you do some of the things that I've shown just now. Thanks.